And now, Rate That Album, Season 3, with Paul Muad'Dib and Joe Fremming. Two guys who know stuff.
Hi, welcome back to Rate That Album, a back and forth album review between myself, Joseph Fremming, and my good friend Paul Muad'Dib. Paul, am I the only one willing to bleed or take a bullet for being free, screaming what the fuck at my TV?
For telling me? Here's the thing. Probably. So get over it.
Yeah, so, this week we are reviewing an album by Aaron Lewis, who is the singer for new metal band Stained. Apparently he has a country career now, Paul. He's going full mega.
Are we calling it a career? 'Cause
I guess he makes money at it. I don't know.
God, Joe. Yeah, I was so content in my life not knowing that Aaron Lewis had a Aaron fucking Lewis, as he likes to be called, AFL, on his fucking guitar.
Well, Paul, truth is the new hate speech.
Mm-hmm. Truth is the new hate speech. Fuck Joe Biden.
Let's go, Brandon.
God. Yeah, this fucking guy. Go on, Joe.
Yeah, so he, after new metal died the death it deserved, apparently he decided he's going to become a good old boy country guy. And this isn't the first time we've reviewed country music, and I think we'll probably be comparing a lot of this to the country album we really enjoyed, which was Hank 3 Straight to Hell. This, I came across this album, so I'm going to get full credit, because I watched a video on the single off this album last year, or this year, I don't even remember. Am I the Only One? It was done by a guy who does a YouTube series called Train Records. His name's Todd in the Shadows.
Todd in the Shadows.
And I just put that in my back pocket. Like, I take inspiration in a lot of places for these albums. And I felt it was time for us, because we were going we're pretty full tilt lib. Let's give the right their due on this, huh, Paul? So I picked Frayed at Both Ends by Aaron Lewis, a completely misguided country album that is so insincere that it feels borderline parody at times.
Yeah, I just want to go back a little bit, because you did share me the Todd in the Shadows one as well. Again, pulling back the curtain a little bit, this is another one that you and I talked a lot about, which is not something we normally do. I forgot about Todd in the Shadows. Todd in the Shadows, actually, I loved him a lot. He used to be part of That Guy with the Glasses and Channel Awesome before that whole debacle went down. Very, very talented. And I was actually, I said to you, and because we're going to be bringing up points that I think those have maybe seen the video or whatever, that I said, I'm so mad you showed me this video, because this is everything I thought about this song. And you said, this is what everybody thinks about this song. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm even the reviews, a lot of it was baffled by a lot of this. We could just kind of saw this is a rich asshole who suffers from extreme white grievances.
Well, so let's
talk about what he became famous in the late 2000s.
Yes,
late 90s, early 2000s with Stained, which was just new metal took all the worst elements of grunge and it was just repackaged as sad sack horseshit. Stained being that, Nickelback. There's a lot of there were some good bands that came out of it, but a lot of it was not good, and Stained being my number one gripe of that entire genre of music.
Well, so this is my problem with Stained, right?
They
because well, they yes,
certainly do suck.
They there was a time I remember because Tormented came out our freshman year, and Dysfunction came out our junior senior year. The big problem was I don't remember Tormented being as big, I think, as Dysfunction, if I'm not mistaken.
I hadn't even heard of a Stained album until Break the Cycle.
Okay.
And that was after we graduated.
Is that maybe the one I'm thinking of? But the point is that
one was the huge one. It's been a while.
Okay, that's the huge one. Okay, that's the huge one.
Yeah, I worked at CD Warehouse, and that thing just sold and sold and sold. It was, and of course I listened to it because we're trying to sell it, so we'd play it every now and then. I'd just be like, oh my god, this is like the worst tendencies of Kurt Cobain and Eddie Vedder wrapped into mumble mouth horse shit.
And by the time, and again, the thing with me that he got really big for was the acoustic versions of some of his stuff and doing stuff with Fred Durst. If you remember, that was the big thing. And
what was that song?
God, I don't even remember. It was so forgettable.
This was a live version of a song, and it had Fred Durst rapping on it. I remember hearing that on the radio. I think this is like
Outside. It was called Outside.
Yeah, and me and my friends were driving to a casino, and it's like midnight, driving to Mille Lacs from St. Cloud, and I remember hearing that and going, "Wow, that's one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life." And it became a huge hit.
Well, and again, the thing with it was that this was supposed to be this new metal band, and they started doing. If I remember. I wasn't really into new metal. I never was. I never was. A lot of our friends were. It just wasn't my thing.
Well, there's things I liked. I liked some of the Korn music.
Sure,
some of the Korn fell into the rap metal stuff too, but it kind of all fell under the general umbrella of new metal. And I liked System of a Down. I thought they did some good stuff, but other than that, a lot of it just seemed like repackaged grunge to the point there was a band called Godsmack, and their logo is literally the Alice in Chains logo, and Alice in Chains has a song called Godsmack.
Yes, and it got new metal. Thankfully, died really, really fast. Right. I just Korn, okay, but Korn really, that to me fell more into the rap, and they also did reggae and other things, right? But Godsmack, Seven Dust, Limp Bizkit,
it was bad.
It was bad. I mean, there's some people that consider Kid Rock to be
he came around that time too.
Yeah,
but that was before he's another one that went country, and I'll kind of bring that up later because. There is a difference, as much as I dislike Kid Rock, there's a reason why he's more successful, I would say, than this guy.
Well, yeah, and we'll get into that, obviously, but yeah, so that's, and Stained, it's started to become this acoustic thing.
Yeah,
and
it became more and more of their work became acoustic, and it was more poor me, but at this time, the guy's it's geez, dude, what are you, you're hitting you're in your 30s and you're whining about your dad. Fuck, man.
Right. Stop whining about your dad, dude. Get over it.
Mm-hmm. It was and here's the thing. I get sick of that shit with it. I got sick of that shit with Nirvana. I got sick of Cobain's sad sack, poor me, horse shit.
That was the one problem. That was the one problem for me with grunge. Was some of it was really good, but some of it was this extremely awful poor me bullshit. Yeah.
So So new metal was just it was bad, and it had all this shit, and Stained, this guy he got successful, doing this acoustic Poor Me, it's like it turned into a crappier version of emo, and I fucking hated emo.
See, no, here's the thing. I should like it because I like emo, but emo's interesting. And as we're going to go into this album, this is not interesting. Right?
No, this is not interesting. In fact, it's kind of like, basically the songs pretty much all sound the same on this. But yeah, so Aaron Lewis had his career with that. And then, I hadn't heard from him because obviously, trends in music change all the time. Nu metal died as it was obviously going to. And he seems bitter about that. In a sense, I think, and he changed his persona into some good old boy country guy. Like,
did he though?
2010s, I would say, which is it's weird. It's not that weird. Like the jump from country and rock it's always existed,
right?
It's just like the people who do it like sincerely and do it well tend to be successful. You have your Neil Youngs, hell, you even have your Springsteens that Aaron Lewis gripes about on this album.
We'll get to that.
You got Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish. I'm not a huge fan of that, but he found success in country. And again, because he seems to really enjoy the genre.
Right.
And what I'm getting from this album is Aaron Lewis really does not like country music.
No. And
it feels parody at times, and my God, it's painfully parody. like this would be like if they did a satirical biopic on a band like Walk Hard, but like you could put these songs in there, and people would probably think they're intentionally funny. The songs on this album are unintentionally hilarious to me.
Well, and
I messaged you.
Yes, you did.
Laughing so hard I was crying at the first song.
Yes. I'm going to pull that up right now for our audience. I'm just going to talk about our thing because we started shooting like stuff back. And let's see here. When did you message?
It was a while back, but we'll get, people get it. If you hear it, you get it. This is a guy who has a lot of grievances, and at the same time, not dealing with them. And also at the same time, he's jumping genres. And he's jumping into a genre he may like, I don't know. But I think he saw a paycheck in it if he could be the good old boy, patriotic. I mean, country's a genre where you can make a lot of money.
Yep.
It's one of the few that seriously still sell a lot of physical items because people who like country typically live in rural areas, and people in rural areas buy CDs still.
Yes. Yep.
So there's a lot of money to be made in country.
100%. Physical media still runs wild because of the audience. Audience,
the audience can sniff out a scammer. And if you look at how this album kind of did, it was successful for like 1 week.
Yeah, it was a week.
People sniffed it out, and they found, like you and I will talk when we go to the track by track, it's painfully insincere.
Go ahead.
He's going over the same kind of themes that made him famous in the first place, but instead of being like 20 and going through shit, he's got to be like in his 50s now. He's going through the same shit in your 20s. Like that, my friend, is Arrested Development.
Thank you for saying that. This album screams of Arrested Development. He was born in 1972, so he's 50. So this would be like you and I in 10 years complaining about our parents and of why our fucking life sucks in our 50s. It's painfully sad. Okay. This is the thing that I feel with this album is as we go through the track by track, I use this term a lot, and I don't mean it the way that it's going to come across, but I'm still going to use it. It's schizophrenic because he's complaining about one thing on one song, and but the next album or the next song, he's complaining and making a point against the thing he just complained about. And
that goes to the sincerity of the lyrics.
Right. And honestly, this doesn't sound like country. I'm going to say that right now. Musically, I'm going to get this out of the way. Musically, this is uninteresting. It doesn't come across as country. It really feels like this is what he was doing at the end of Stained anyways. It's not really country. It's this acoustic. It's this bad, boring yacht rock acoustics.
Yeah, I put it. It sounded like Stained with a twang.
Yes,
and he's purposely pushing in the southern accent on a lot of these songs, so it has that country flair. But I would agree. It's just like this album. And we did the deluxe version because we're masochists. It's 14 tracks of acoustic sad sack horseshit, and like you said, it's schizophrenic. Because he doesn't believe what he's saying half the time. At least I don't think he is.
You go.
And here's another thing I wrote down. It's a series of bad cliches masquerading as deep songs dumbed down to attract a certain base, which comes off as insanely pessimistic and empty. And that I still stand by that. He's trying to go to this base that obviously, his understanding of country is it's all conservative. It's not, but in his mind it is. And he's going to play on their grievances on a lot of these songs. But it doesn't pass the smell test. And obviously with country radio and country fans, that's what was painfully obvious because it didn't do well. It did well for 1 week. And that's probably because they had him on Fox News playing that "Am I the Only One" and shit like that.
He was on Fox News for that. And again, it charted for literally like a week and then it tanked. And rightfully so, because again, even that song, and we'll get to it lyrically, already comes off as insincere and like sardonic in terms of it's just. Well, let's just get into it, Joe, because I think as we do the lyrics, we kind of point out certain things. You'll see what we're talking about in terms of how he's going from one space to the next.
Yeah, and it's basically paint by numbers lyrics too. We'll get to it because that was another one of my gripes. Is like these are so generic. It was like generic Mad Libs.
Pretty much.
I laughed so hard. I laughed more listening to this than I did with Shatner or Steven Seagal.
I did too. And the reason why for me is I'm listening to one song and I go to the next song. I'm like, wait a minute. Wasn't he just saying he was against the thing that he's now doing in this song?
He doesn't.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. You said this and I agree. This seems like a grift.
Yeah, it's a grift. Yes, I did say that.
He's trying to grift country music fans.
Yeah, this absolutely is a soulless cash grab grift.
And it didn't. Maybe I don't know. He may have made some money off of it, but I don't see country. There's some country fans I'm sure will enjoy it. I don't see the majority of them liking this because one, it's too whiny. It's way too whiny and poor me and shit. And two, there's no fun on this album. There is no sense of humor. He tries.
There's nothing fun.
I think he tries to have a sense of humor and it just blows up in his face.
Oh, I will get to that. So let's start with Again.
So this
is the one you called me saying you were crying.
Because it's the most generic song I've ever heard. All these songs are him with his acoustic guitar, and he plays on these cliches that are so wildly, like if you fed like country music cliches to an AI, these would be the songs it would write. Because this one literally has like wind on his back and sun in his face. Give anything to feel anything again. Like
Okay.
It's sociopathic.
It is because the verse is, again, when I try to look back. Okay, first of all, when I try to look back, but I still just feel numb. I see in my shadow the man I've become. All the times I've gone down the wrong roads in life, the wrong turns I've taken, the only ones I get right. Keep that right there, okay? All the times I've gone down the wrong roads in life, the wrong turns I've taken, the only ones I get right. So basically, he's saying everything he does and goes down ends up being wrong. Okay, so and he says this on the first fucking track, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's another cliche of country music, downtrodden, I made bad choices, blah blah blah. It's painful. It's so painful in how cliche it is, and like this is what he thinks country music is. And yes, there are elements of that in country music, but not this much. Not at this level. This is like, again, it feels like parody. He's Kid Rock light at this point.
Yeah,
and it's so stupid. It's so stupid, and he's angry and like everything's changed and blah blah blah. And that's the whole theme of this album is he's been lied to and he's been downtrodden and all that. And we're like, dude, at 50, it's not everybody else at this point.
It's not everyone else's fault. I'm sorry.
It's the old saying, if everybody else is the asshole, guess what? You're the asshole.
Well, and this is, and that's the other thing with it, right? Is that, you hear this cliche from conservatives. If you're liberal in your 20s, you're liberal in your 20s, but then you're conservative in your 30s. It's some fucking stupid fuck saying, okay? You know which one I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. It's just I never bought into it.
I never bought into it either. But
he's playing that.
He's playing that, right? And the thing is, though, is this is so indicative of what I have, and what, even though it's a grift, this is what he thinks. Keep this in mind. This is what he and Fox News, and because Fox News was promoting this album mainly for one track, but also because, oh my God, this is a quote conservative album. This is what they think people in the country are and how they live. They're pathetic. They hate their lives. They've gone down the wrong roads. They've done all this shit, and they're blaming everyone else. Yeah. He thinks that these people, that's what these people are, because that's what he is. And I'm sorry, I live in the sticks. That is not. I
live in a deep red state.
You live in a deep red state, and that is not.
Honestly, it's so insulting, I think, to people who live in rural areas or who are like considered the rednecks, because they're not all insane, crazy people who want to storm the Capitol or whatever. It's so this guy doesn't even understand basic humanity.
No,
I feel like he's never even spoken to people outside his own circle.
This feels very insular in that regard, right?
But it's insular in a weird way, in that it makes me feel like he's never even talked to a conservative before. You know what I mean? Like, I've had good conversations with conservatives where we may disagree, but it's usually a pretty good conversation, and we can get along and we can just disagree. But it feels like I don't know if he's actually met a rural person, because this seems so disrespectful and like cartoonish of what he thinks people in rural areas live like and what they're like. They're all alcoholics. What?
Yeah, and they're all they've all regret how they got to that point. A lot of these people are proud of where they are and how they got
like where they live.
They like where they live. They like the fact that they did this. Okay.
Yeah. So let's get to Exhibit B with Goodbye Town,
which you brought up. Say it. Started off with it, man.
I forget.
Extreme.
Oh yeah, it's extreme. This is more than words. The guitar line is the rhythm, the bing, and then the slap of the beat on the acoustic guitar. He ripped off Extremes more than words.
Yeah, he did. He ripped off Extremes more than words for a country song, mind you. This is why I don't say it's country. This is this weird acoustic, slow.
It's an acoustic. It's a country acoustic. Ripped.
It's not, again, it's not a country album to me. It has twinges of what could be considered country, but really all this is Air Supply. It's fucking slow rock. It's fucking light acoustic rock that sucks. It is yacht rock.
No, because I can like some yacht rock. This is worse than that. This is a 50-year-old man pissed off because he wasn't either. He didn't become as successful as he thought he should have.
I really think that's a lot.
I think that's part of it. Is also he still is coming to terms with his dad issues.
At 50.
At 50, like, see a fucking therapist at this point. It's
see
really,
a therapist, dude.
Yeah, and then the country stuff, like the cliches, he plays the cliches straight face. He doesn't even change them.
No,
which makes it worse. And he's talking down to his audience.
That's the other thing. He's talking down to the audience here. Very apparently.
He's talking down to the people he thinks this album's representing.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks like people in rural towns this is how they are. And he's basically slapping them in the face. Mm-hmm. And on this song, Goodbye Town, which is about, shitty town he lives in.
Yep.
I wrote, for a guy crapping on Springsteen, he's trying his damnedest to sound like a Springsteen song here.
Yeah. This is him trying to do My Hometown.
Yeah. Or so, and he has other parts on here where he's trying to do it like Nebraska stuff off Nebraska, just the Stark stuff. But he's not smart enough to do it. Like, there's a reason why Springsteen, even though he's a dirty lib, he still resonates with all spectrums of the political aisle. He has the talent to do it.
Let me bring up.
He can write a song that people can relate to. Aaron Lewis did those in the early 2000s, and not very well.
Okay, I've written songs. I've written lyrics. I've done things. Now, granted, I never rose to the level of whatever. We talked about that. I had the opportunity with a fucking record deal, didn't take it, whatever. These lyrics are so elementary, basic schoolyard bullshit that I would be embarrassed to bring lyrics like this in front of the bands I was in. Goodbye heartbreak, goodbye home, goodbye dive bar. I used to go, I gotta get out of this goodbye town. Goodbye happy, hello regret. All the things I wish I said. It's so bad. I'm going down. Feels
like that Supertramp song. Goodbye. Goodbye. Except it's done in a shitty way and not clever. He's terrible. This guy does. I don't know, man. Like, he's not the good old boy he thinks he is.
No. And then he talks
about a millionaire. Also.
He's a million, and yet there ain't enough Tennessee whiskey round here to drown me out of this goodbye town. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're 50. You're a millionaire. Fucking move.
You know who's upset about their hometown and they're like this? People in their 20s.
Yes.
Again, Arrested Development. This is a song you write when you're 20 because you're living in some shithole that you can't get out of because there's a frustration when you're young about that. If you're 50 and you're living in a place that you can't get out of, then that's kind of more on your fault at that point, especially if you're the front man of a new metal band that sold millions of albums. It's on you at this point, buddy.
Right. It absolutely is. And well, let's get to the next one. Everyone Talks to God, because
this is the most condescending song I think I've heard in a long time.
Okay. He was saying grace over a Tuesday blue plate special.
Again, this imagery, which is blue plate special. Like, dude, you picked that up from TV, man.
Right.
Like, you've never been in a
you've never been there. No.
I've been in rural diners where they serve something like a blue plate special.
I think I've been like one or two dive bars where they have a blue paint special, but my God, I was looking for it. Because me and my mom started this thing. She's so funny. Where God, I forget what she called it, but she would go out with her coworkers once a month, and she would find just the shittiest dive bar she could find, and they would go, and they would go eat at. And I was like, Mom, that's brilliant. Here's the thing. This is where it comes on insincere. When the man in the next booth said, "Don't you watch TV? Don't you know that God's a myth? I hate seeing you waste your breath." Because he's
being menaced by an atheist.
Yeah, he's being menaced by an atheist. Oh, come on. Get off of it. Where on the TV? Where on the fucking TV are you getting your atheism from? Fuck off. Do you know how many fucking sitcoms and show talk about God and fucking, this and that? And I'm sorry, the war on Christmas does not fucking exist, because believe me, when I'm trying to find a fucking Halloween costume for my kid, I am going over, and the next aisle, when I'm not finding the fucking costumes they want, is the goddamn Christmas trees in October.
Yeah, it's none of this rings true. Again, it makes me feel he's never even spoken to anybody in a rural town before in his fucking life. It just seems, again, it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon of what people would. It's a cartoon of what a stupid person thinks rural people are like.
Yeah,
it truly is. It truly just seems it's condescending, and like for us who are pretty liberal, I'm offended for conservatives for this album. I'm sure, and I have a feeling conservatives were, because again, they didn't do that great.
No, and again, it's
he's talking about a farmer in a field praying for rain, Paul.
Right, and the man says, the praying man says, "Amen," looked up from his plate and says, "You may not talk to God now, but there's gonna come a day." Okay. As someone who was once raised Catholic, then Lutheran, wanted to be a priest, and is now an agnostic/atheist, I have to say, this is the worst fucking conversation ever. Because what this really goes to say to me, I look at this song and I go, so really the only reason why we believe in God is because you're afraid to die? That says a lot about you. And your fucking problems and how weak you are, that here's this thing that everybody does, is the one thing that connects all of humanity, animals, every living fucking thing. We're all going to do it, but we have to believe in the man in the sky and God. And where I get offended as a former Christian is, that's not Christianity. That's not God. That's fear of death. That's not being a good person. That's not following the thing of God. That is all that's saying is, I need to believe in God, so when I die, I go to heaven. Holy fuck, how weak are you?
But again, as we can tell from, if any of these songs ring even a little bit true, he's not a good person. Because he's he's talking down to people of faith in this. And I find that incredibly disgusting. Like, it's like the musical version of that movie God's Not Dead, where
yes,
atheist is bullying like when does that even fucking happen? Maybe it does, but like I don't see this as like a epidemic of like atheist bullying. I don't see. So this is like one of those songs where it feels so fucking unbelievable that nobody's gonna relate to it.
No, there's no relating to this.
It's just him being angry at atheists.
This is all it is. And again, he's not even bringing up the good points about God. All he's bringing up
he's not bringing up any good points.
He's not bringing up any good points. He's only bringing up, in the end, everybody talks to God. Like, all he's bringing up is, well, aren't you afraid of dying and there being no God? No, I'm not. No, I'm fucking not. No,
yeah, nothing about God's love for people. Nothing about. There's not even a mention of like the morality of the like shit in the Bible. You know what I mean? Like, there's not. It's just like, in fact, he's the one. He's being pretty fucking judgy. I've never read the Bible, but I'm pretty sure there's that. The don't judge other people unless you whatever that is.
Well, And here's the issue with that, right? I've read the Bible 3 times. And here's something really fascinating. And in the next song, I'm going to bring up something to another point. Most people who've actually read the Bible end up going and walking away from religion. It's actually a statistical fact. Like it or not, you may not agree with it, but it's true. Because there's so many contradictions and inconsistencies. And then you get the people going, well, it's not meant for the average person. It's the fucking Bible. Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be the fucking handbook.
Yeah,
like, what
it's
do you
supposed
mean?
to be for everybody.
It's supposed to be for everybody. What do you
By
mean?
design,
You got to have
it's supposed to be for everybody.
by design, by the meaning of the word Bible. It is literally supposed to be designed for anyone to pick up and read and not have to go, well, it's written in this and you have to understand this and you have to go here in order to understand the real fucking meaning. That's not a Bible then. That's not a fucking Bible. So there's that aspect of it. And honestly, there's so much there where I get it, because you got the fire and brimstone Catholics, which is really funny because that's not their part of the Bible. That's Judaism. That's the Old Testament. They're supposed to be all about the New Testament. But because fear and control is what they want, they love spending their time in the fucking Old Testament, where actually like hippies and fucking, New Age Christianity is really following the preachings of Jesus, which is fucking shut the fuck up, love everybody, who gives a fuck. There are no borders. Everyone's a fucking human. But God forbid people want to do that because they just want to be pissed off like Aaron Lewis at his fucking dad. Soapbox done.
Am I the only one upset by all that, Paul? Up next, the big hit off the album. Am I the only one? A song so fucking insane that it is a cross between Freedom Isn't Free from Team America World Police and a thing from South Park where the rednecks are always like, if you don't like it, you can get out. And I believe he owes Trey Parker and Matt Stone songwriting credits for this one.
You said it. You said it in our off time. You said they need to have royalties. They absolutely need royalties for this fucking song. Okay. This is the one that got him on Fox News, by the way. So I use a thing called Genius Lyrics when I look up our things, because I can put in the name of the album, lyrics, it pulls everything up. Along with lyrics, it shows you how many people have looked up the songs. This is the only song on this fucking album that anyone looked up lyrics for, because this is the one that Fox News pushed. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say what Todd in the Shadows said. You are not being sincere about anything when you start a fucking sentence or song with "Am I the only one?" Because you're not the only one, but you're trying to drum up this fake fucking support for people to come to your cause. It's really, really insulting. Like, am I the only one here that feels this way? You get that smattering with hands raising up. It's manipulative. It's fucking disgusting, and it's just lowbrow.
And might I add, Paul, this song is fucking hilarious. This is one of the funniest songs I've ever heard in my life. He absolutely did not intend it to be this way. But this is a fucking hilarious song because it's almost from the point of view of a comically old man who everybody's supposed to be rooting against. Because it's just nothing but grievances and complaints and whining and crying. And he can't listen to his Springsteen songs anymore. Paul, this song is hilarious. This is a fucking hilarious song.
All right, I'm going to go through the whole lyrics. I don't normally do this, Joe. But
do we
okay.
have to?
All right,
People
fine.
can look this up. Let's just do the highlights because I don't want to sit through.
All right.
I already sat through the album, Paul. I don't need to be reminded, because you're not going to sing it all funny like he does, because he all believes it. Yeah, you're just going to be like reciting it. It is just going to sound like the words of a sociopath. But when he's singing it, it just adds so much humor. Like, this is so fucking hilarious, Paul. This is This is like every bad cliche you see on a T-shirt at a truck stop.
Oh,
Put to song.
it really is. Okay, so am I the one willing to bleed or take a bullet for being free? So Aaron Lewis
Never served his country.
He never wanted to. He never did. He wanted to. Now this is the other distinction I'm going to make up. Sorry. I got noise in the background here. Apologize, guys. So here's the again
Here's the thing. He said he wanted to, but he didn't.
But he didn't. And now I'm gonna.
That tells me he didn't want to do it.
Joe, you and I have had family that have been military and friends that have been military and whatnot, right? My dad, his best friend went and served in Vietnam. Now, his friend died in Vietnam. My dad romanticized being in Vietnam because of that. It's something my dad never got past. He romanticized he was going to be this big hero in Vietnam and would have done all this shit, right? My neighbor 3 doors down was a ranger, and his entire team was killed except for him. And he and my dad would have these debates about the merits of Vietnam, and my neighbor was like, dude, I was there. You didn't want to be there. It wasn't worth it. And my dad romanticized all these things in his head, like it was needed. We needed blah, blah, blah. This is the difference between, I find, a lot of people who have been in war and people who haven't. Is those that go, you talk to them a lot of times like, God damn, like this is fucking, they don't have this false sense of this fake patriotism. They have real patriotism.
Yeah,
then you get
they saw the shit. They
saw the shit. Then you get this what I call fake patriotism, or this romanticized thing from people that didn't serve and maybe wanted to, or just trying to fucking come off as I support everything but then when the fucking government goes to fucking not put taxes towards those things, are totally happy that those bills didn't go through. So fuck you. You're not really supporting the troops. That's what this is to me. That yelling at me that, he's yelling, screaming, what the fuck at my TV for my love of the red, white, and blue, burning to the ground, another statue coming down. You made a Confederate fucking statue?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, but again, it's so hilarious to me. And he falls in love with, like, am I the only one who's not brainwashed, making my way through the land of the lost? Like, what on fucking earth are you talking about? Like, even Sid Barrett would have been confused by a lyric like that.
Well, yeah, and he was losing his fucking mind. So when I
if you don't like it, here's the fucking door. Like, oh, again, it's another cliche. I mean, literally, the song sounds like a Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and he's using cliches from South Park as sincere lyrics. Man, it's fucking hilarious.
It is.
It's like, I would love to hear Weird Al just cover it straight.
Oh, I would love to. And here's the other thing that you have with it too, is the Springsteen line, right? Am I the one who quit singing along every time they play a Springsteen song? You mean the guy that did Nebraska?
Yeah, and
and who did a 9/11 album to support, and that all that money went to support people? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
And I remember, like, Springsteen had Born in the USA, and it took people a while before they started realizing what the lyrics were about, because it has that very big chorus of Born in the USA. But when you hear about it, it's a tragic song. It's a very tragic song about how veterans were treated coming home. So is that what you're against, Aaron Lewis? Are you against Springsteen writing a song for veterans and how piss poor they were treated coming home?
And he supported veterans as well. So yeah, fuck you, dude. Like, he's real, you're fake. Like, it's again though, but that's what grifters do. They go after the people that are actually doing something, because if they can, it's all part of the grift, right? Yeah. And that's this truly. No, I want to talk a little bit.
He's not good at it though. There's good grifters, and then there's people who try to grift but they can't. He's the latter, because it's so wildly insincere. It's so wildly cliche. It's hilarious that I don't see anybody taking this song seriously. And
no,
you don't hear it on the radio.
Oh God, no! Oh God, no! No! Everyone knows fake. Now I want to talk a little bit. I got to talk about this because this whole thing about him saying, watching the threads of old glory come undone, when they're taking down Confederate statues. Okay, wow! Do you not understand? First of all, the American flag versus the Confederate flag, because I have a feeling you think Old Glory is the fucking Dixie flag, which you're fucking you're fucking stupid. But here's the whole thing.
So he's confusing two different ideas of patriotism.
Right.
One, he's like Old Glory, which is our flag, and the statues of traitors who took arms against America.
Right. And he's saying we're losing
in the same line.
In the same line.
The same breath.
In the same breath. Okay, and let's talk a little bit because I have to.
Again, it's hilarious. I love this song just because it's so fucking hilarious.
It's so bad. Like, again, this is something that you would have on South Park. Like, it feels like this one feels like parody because I'm going. We're taking down Confederate statues, and that's destroying the American flag. What? Okay. But what he's subscribing to, by the way, is something called the Lost Cause, which is a pseudo historical redo of what the Confederates did after they lost to try and save face. And it's the South will rise again, where they tried to change the narrative that the fucking Civil War wasn't really about slavery. And a lot of these statues came up in the 1930s and 40s. I should take that back. The 1910s, the 1920s, the 1930s, and 1940s. The Jim Crow era, especially in the South, as a means of these people trying to push the Southern racist narrative into the American normalitage through Thomas Dixon Jr. So, motherfucker, fuck you for pushing this the Lost Cause thing, which we all know is fucking bullshit. You know it's bullshit. And again, for confusing the Confederacy with the American flag, you stupid son of a bitch. So, wait, did you want to take a bullet?
How confused this song is.
And did he want to take a bullet for the Confederacy then? Like, is that what he's talking about?
And here's the thing, and he saw this song. He's like, he saw MAGAism, and he just threw a bunch of shit together to see if he could rile up the MAGA crowd because he could sell albums. And man, that's just it's so cynical.
It is. And here's another one. Here's another lyric line that we got to talk about. Am I the only one not brainwashed, making my way through the land of the lost, who still gives a shit and worries about his kids as they try to undo all the things he did? Wait.
What did he do?
What did you do that your kids are trying to undo? Did you continue the cycle of hate, Aaron? Like, did you put your daddy issues onto your kids? Like, is that what you're trying to tell us as an audience? Like, what did you do that your kids are trying to undo? You mean your new metal bullshit? Well, guess what? We undid that in 2002. So fucking there's the door.
Again, it's just it's so confusing and baffling and rings so hollow that I'm just I'm flabbergasted by it. It's like a train wreck. I'm just watching it in amaze and awe because it's so misguided and stupid and lousy. And he's trying to sing like this tough guy but he's not. He's just some fucking pear-shaped loser. Just it's just an incredible thing of all these things going wrong, and then they put it into a song, and he put it in a song form, and the music itself is just as misguided as everything else. It's chef's kiss, man. He made one of the worst songs ever.
Hilarious songs.
One of the worst hilarious songs. It's kind of like The Room. It
is. It's like The Room because
none of it makes sense in it. It's completely baffling, but you can't look away.
Well, yeah, and again, people thought this was like a rallying song, but then when you really break it down and listen to, I mean, I imagine this is why I only went a week, because a week into listening to the lyrics, you're going, wait a minute, wait a minute, none of this makes fucking sense. What the fuck are you babbling about, dude? Yeah.
Well, he's an angry troll of a human, and he's trying to grift, and he fell on his face spectacularly because it's a joyless slog. All these lyrics are just joyless slogs, and it's a lot of it's just like, who wants to listen to a guy whine for 55 minutes? Like, I don't.
And this is all it is just him whining, Joe. Speaking of whining, let's move on.
He's got it so hard.
He's got it so hard. But speaking of whining, kill me like you love me, Joe.
Oh my God. So the problem with this, and I wrote this down because I had to be completely honest. Here's my note. I'm still laughing so hard from the previous song, I can't focus on this shit sandwich.
Okay.
So I didn't start coming around from my I had to wipe the tears from my face, and by then I'm like halfway or 3/4 of the way through the song, and I'm like, I'm not going back. So I'm not rewinding it. It's just time to sally forth. We're going ahead.
I had kind of the same thing. How do you?
To me, it's also like a weird love song, but with a war analogy.
Okay.
Am I right around that, or is that wrong?
No, you're right.
I can't tell the difference.
It's like
Lewis doesn't either.
It's like he survived a bad. Okay, so this is my other issue.
Hasn't?
right. At age 50, dude, get over it. Here's my thing with this. Okay, you have these strong conservatives that are supposed to be blah blah blah. He's acting like a fucking cuck in this goddamn song.
Oh yeah,
I'm so lost without you. I'll survive, but I don't want to. Get over it, you fucking 50-year-old simp. Like, she doesn't want you around. You're a millionaire. Go find someone else.
If your general view on rural people and conservatives are there, pull yourself up by the bootstraps kind of people and buck up and move on and fucking don't dwell too much on this shit. Why is he completely just breaking? Again, I can see where a conservative redneck would be like, man, this guy fucking whines too much. I can't listen to it. He's just like a fucking pussy.
He is. They can see why this didn't do well, because he is. This is not an alpha male. This is not an alpha male. This is a fucking beta boy.
He's just whining and crying. It doesn't work.
No, dude, no. I mean, dude, so I could say things, I'm not gonna, but let's just say that I feel like I'm more alpha than this fucking bitch.
And again, I think that if it comes through to us, it came through to the people he was trying to aim this album toward. And people can smell bullshit a mile away.
Yeah, they can.
And especially, and they can tell when they're being spoken down to. And, I'm not, it's like the whole, people are people. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to paint them with a broad brush. And I would be upset if I was in that group of people. If something like this came out and it's like, yeah, this album's for you. And I'd be like, man, I'm not a fucking whiny pussy like that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, kind of. It's very disingenuous.
This should have been the title of the album. Disingenuous.
So I think you and I came up with alternate titles on our in our conversation. I could put, but in the meantime, what I want to also bring up is this is not a country song. This sounds like an acoustic Stain song.
Yeah, this sounded like a Stain song.
This sounds like a Stain song. Musically, this is not a country song.
And if you wanted. Yet again, he's a victim in this song. Lift me up to hate me again and again. He's just the victim. He's that person who's always wronged by other people, and it's never his fault.
You said it should be called "Poor Me," the album, to which I replied to "Pity the washed-up new metal jackass," the album.
He's always a victim, Paul.
He's always a victim.
Which again, conservatives. If you're going to paint with broad strokes, they generally don't like people always being the victim.
He says these things. Let the preacher say some words. Let the angels take my demons when I die. So You're saying that you're not strong enough to handle your fucking issues in life. So you'd rather die and live on being the jackass you're going to be because you cannot handle your shit. Again, he's saying these things, and yet a couple album songs back,
he's complaining.
He's complaining. It's like about people not being able to own their shit. What the fuck, dude? Pick A or B, man, because you're doing it on the same. Yeah, pick a lane.
And here's the thing: like, if he did a country album and like maybe two of the songs on it were like this, maybe it would have done better. But these are just joyless slogs. It's just him in minor keys crying about how much his life sucks. Nobody wants to hear that, man. Like that's why, you know, new metal is Stained only lasts so long. There's only so much fucking poor me horseshit people want to listen.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. It gets to a point where you're just like, okay, enough is enough. Mm-hmm. Now we get to Life Behind Bars, which is more poor me bullshit.
And it's him trying. So this is an attempt at a Johnny Cash song. You know, Johnny Cash had these, he had a lot of songs about murder and prison and all that. Mm-hmm. And he plays a character in his songs. And the difference is Johnny Cash pulled it off because he had the gravitas and the talent to do it. And this just seems like a parody. It was like this could have been in Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Oh, fuck yeah, buddy. Oh, this is okay. Spending my time living behind bars ain't doing hard time, but the times get hard. Absolutely, Walk Hard, the movie. The Dewey Cox story didn't come wearing cuffs in the back of some car. No judge, no jury ever put me there. Here's where the disingenuous part fucking comes in again of him whining about his bullshit. I got a story to tell you, a bunch of songs, and they ain't nothing but no rock and roll. Sold my soul to the devil, a pocket of songs for a handful of gold. That was the day everything changed. No jury. Okay, then he gets to this chorus, and it's basically the same thing that he just said, but then he adds 4 lines. Still paying the price for the life I chose. Once you got a record, I guess that's how it goes. Still serving my sentence with this old guitar. Spending my time living behind bars.
You know what that actually makes me think? It makes me think he's stuck in a record deal.
Well, maybe.
That's how it reads to me.
Okay. Well,
is that not how? Could you not interpret? It just seems like he's stuck in a record deal. So
kinda. That's what it sounds like.
But his prison is he has to
deal with record companies. Yeah. Now here's the other fucking issue with this. Okay, here you are. You obviously don't have a problem with the fact that you got your records, that you did all the shit, that you're a fucking millionaire, but you're gonna try and convince us fakely that you regret your time with Stained. Now, if you truly do regret your time with Stained, get therapy, because you wouldn't be writing these songs right now without it. Yep. So fuck you, dude. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? He wants to sit here and talk about how fucking hard it was to be in a new metal band. Poor me. And he's got no jail, no bail, no hell, no parole. Motherfucker, that was 20 years ago. Get over it. Grow up. Like, fuck, Joe. This is, again, no responsibilities, the album.
Yep, no, he takes no responsibilities for any of his actions. It's always somebody else's fault. It's the atheist in the bar. It's the, it's the libs, like it's always somebody else but him. And this is also dry drunk attitude.
Joe nailed it. He is a dry drunk. Well, he's not. Well, we'll get to it because he's not dry, but it is dry drunk attitude.
Yeah, everything else is, it's alcoholic point of views. A lot of alcoholics it's always somebody else. It's never them. It's not that they didn't do it. It was some, it's always this, like, they're always the victim. Like, at least for some alcoholics. I'm not going to speak for all of them because I'm not, I don't know, but it seems like that. It seems like, from what I learned growing up, this is like that attitude of addicts. It's never their fault. It's always some other person persecuting them. And it's it's very frustrating to deal with that in person. And it's frustrating to hear it on album because it sounds like we're being sung to by a dry drunk.
That's exactly what it is. Joe, I love it because honestly, I had an uncle, a dry drunk uncle, and this is exactly what it was like when we'd see him.
Yeah, it's always somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
Isn't that it's man, the atheist at the bar, man, getting the blue light special. He's ruining my day.
He's ruining my day. He's ruining my shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Now we have Waiting There for Me. Again, he's playing so many cliches of country music. Went from Dallas, Texas to Nashville, Tennessee. Like, dude, you're from Vermont.
Right?
Like, you're not a good old boy. You're never going to be a good old boy. In fact, Hank 3's what was that? Well, yeah, the Kid Rock song on there about Nashville, Dick and Dixie. I think.
Yes.
Very much for people like him. Like Hank 3 wrote, a song aimed at people exactly like this guy.
No, 100%, 100%. So, I mean, this is just, again, disingenuous bullshit. Like, oh man, I'm here writing this song because of my stand career and I'm so sad. And
guys like him don't always go to heaven, Paul. They don't always go to heaven.
They don't always go to heaven.
He has to get out of this town again, Paul. He found another town he has to get out. That was another thing in this song.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like,
going back to that well.
This goes back to like when everybody else is the asshole. If every town you go to is some shithole you can't wait to get out of, maybe the problem's you.
Yeah. Maybe the problem is you and your attitude. Lost himself somewhere in Berkshire, went from Dallas, Texas to Nashville. Everywhere I'd go, I seemed to find you waiting there for me. Oh my God. Then I went to the Delta. I drank because I'm an alcoholic. And you were there. Like, it's all about him can't escape this person. Again, you're a fucking millionaire, dude. Get over it. Yeah. You fucking beta boy bitch. Someone doesn't want you around. Get over it. Stop fucking wasting everyone's time. Stop being a fucking creeper. And just get on with your life. You were in Stained. Have some self-respect, sir. Like, you were in a multi-million-dollar band and you're acting like you have always worked at the fucking Walmart. Get over it.
Oh, he always worked the farm. He woke up with grit in his hands, Paul. Every morning he woke up and drove the tractor. God, fuck you, Aaron Lewis, you whiny little bitch. Number 9. Now this is like and I had looked it up, and there was a reason. So, like, this is a story song about veterans in war. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'm like, geez, this is like, it has like a little more interesting shit. It's not just like this poor me shit, And, well, it's because the song was co-written by a veteran. I think the guy wrote it, and Aaron just tacked his name on it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because like there's a lot of imagery of war in here. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, wow, did he take a creative writing lesson at the Learning Annex or what? Like, no, I think the veteran wrote this song.
So this song
sounds bad because like he shouldn't be singing this because he's not a veteran. Aaron Lewis.
No,
this would have been like maybe have a veteran sing this song. They could put more weight to it, I think, than him playing makeup soldier.
Well, and you got Vince Gill also on this one, and Dan Tominsky. Now, the song itself was written by Sean Bott, Richard Casper, Jordan Walker, Johnny McGuire, and Brian Carper. And it was actually written for, I think it was something else, but he put it on this album as well. Okay, first of all, anything with Vince Gill, I'm not a Vince Gill fan, but anything with Vince Gill should sound a fuck lot better than this, country-wise.
Yeah, again, part of Creative Vets, nonprofit that teaches armed force veterans use of visual arts and music as a way of addressing the issues they're going through. So like it comes from a good place, I'll say. It's just having Aaron fucking Lewis sing it is wildly misguided.
Yeah. Like, how did he get involved in this? I don't know.
Maybe he did USO tours.
Maybe.
But I don't know how he got. All I know is it was, to me, like I was listening, I was like, this is interesting because the lyrics aren't just like "cry baby, poor me," fucking sad sack horseshit. And then I was like, oh yeah, because he didn't write it. He knows nothing of this experience. Oh
no, I'll be honest. Okay, so I originally thought like, oh, okay, so Vince Gill or this other guy, this Dan Taminsky, invited him along, to do this song, or something. I'm like, how the fuck did he get in touch with these guys? But it didn't feel like he wrote it. It really doesn't belong on.
Yeah, this should be like on an album like Made by Vets.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it's not a bad song.
No, lyrically, it's not a bad song, but acoustically, and it doesn't feel. He doesn't have
the weight.
No,
I mean, for a fat guy, he doesn't have the weight to do this. Like, he just doesn't have the gravitas. Like, because everything else on this album's fallen so false to me that you can't have him all of a sudden like sing a sincere song. It's just so misguided to have him on the vocals on this.
It is. It's absolutely misguided. And again, it still has that kind of, and it takes away from it because it still has that stained, not a true country, but it still has that stained feel, like that stained stank. I guess is the word I'm looking for here. It has that stank on it
up.
It got that stank on it. Next is Get What You Get. Another.
My first note on this, man, this guy is a one-note act.
Yes.
He's a victim here. He's being lied to. He's complaining about people using the stars and stripes to serve their own glory, which I feel like he's doing a lot on this album.
Yeah.
Bad. And then he drops F-bombs be edgy throughout the whole album. It's just like no.
Nope. It's again, he's blaming the bottle. He's crying.
Go to an AA meeting, man.
No, and here's again the disingenuous part on this one. He keeps changing his fucking tune every goddamn track. You can't keep telling lies and changing your story and expect the whole world to believe you and use the stars and the stripes to serve your own glory. Yeah, that flag ain't waving with me. What the fuck? You disingenuous bastard.
Am I the only one?
Didn't you just do that? And then you have, because I don't have amnesia and Lord knows I ain't Jesus, I can't forgive or forget. Well, then you don't really follow Jesus if you can't forgive or forget.
Exactly, because turn the other cheek and but whatever. I'm no scholar, but I have a basic understanding of it. And he's just like a spiteful man. He's just a spiteful turd of a man. I'm just like, he's got to be so unpleasant to be around.
Oh, just a real fucking peach. So put your cards on the table and start telling some truth. How about you start telling the truth, sir?
Yeah.
I mean, don't lie to us about how you regret being instained. All right, fuck off.
For him, I bet it's been a while since he's told some truth, Paul.
I like that. Joe, sticks and stones, motherfucker.
Oh, so again, the cliches, and he literally does the sticks and stones will break your bones. But in this song, the words do hurt him.
Oh my God!
The words hurt him.
Beta bitch. Words hurt me.
Little bitch.
Words hurt me.
Oh, mumble mouth. Oh, he's in a constant state of paranoia. I wrote that down. Like, everybody's against him.
Yeah.
One word was all it took to destroy him, Paul. Like, jeez, man. Like, You trying to say yourself as an alpha male when you're just nothing but a whiny little crybaby asshole.
Oh God.
Oh God, it's hilarious. It's again, it feels like this is parody. Like I feel like this is country, like how Stephen Colbert was Stephen Colbert with quotes, you know.
Yeah. This does feel like Stephen Colbert wrote this, or Jon Stewart.
The Colbert Report.
The Colbert Report
with quotes.
Yeah, the Colbert with quotes. Okay. They say sticks and stones could break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Just one word is all it took to stop my world from turning. Right now, honestly, I'd rather be black and blue or bleeding than to watch you go down that goodbye road. God damn it. For the last time, dude, you were a millionaire. You were instained. Grow a pair. Fucking stop
talking about
pining.
These roads and you can't get out of these towns. It's just like, dude, like, I think what you really are is you're not happy with yourself, and you should probably find a way to get help for that, because you're basically telling us you want to get away from yourself, and that's not good. That's not good mentally.
No. This guy really, I mean, I'm going to call this I Need to Get Therapy, the album.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you imagine the psychiatric world having a field day with this album.
Okay, let's call it another one. Mental Illness, the album. Like, seriously, it's just, there's so much
I feel
wrong.
Like that's insult to mental illness, Paul.
It kind of is. I apologize. That wasn't fair. That was out of bounds. I apologize.
So now we're going to one and the same. Okay, Paul. Now you know about religion, but I just gotta say it. He says angels and whiskey are one and the same.
What?
And then he starts talking about doing coke, and then he says both do what the other one does. Coke and booze are wildly different types of drugs. To me, this is just like he's just numbing himself. Again, this album's like a cry for help, but it's done so badly nobody cares.
No, and well, angels and cocaine can make it right when you're drinking too much on a Saturday night. I think any priest, any pastor, anyone with fucking semblance of any kind of real understanding of religion will tell you that you are completely wrong, sir.
Yeah, and you need to seek help.
You need to seek help. You need to seek help. And it's just, Joe, I mean, there's, God damn it. It's funny how pleasure and pain are one and the same. Okay, again, you're writing a country album. They don't want BDSM.
They don't want your whiny little bitch ass.
They don't want your whiny little bitch talking about you being on drugs because they don't want them. They live in a dare community. What the fuck? And Aaron Lewis, you're 50 years old. Get over it.
Going back to the Hank 3 stuff, he did like the drug abuse and the alcohol abuse in a way that like
was relatable. Yeah,
he was self-destructive and but there was kind of like, but he wants help. This is so nihilistic in that he doesn't want help. He's not ever asking for help. He doesn't even bother asking for help. It's very nihilistic.
Yeah, it's very, very nihilistic. Well, it goes beyond that. It goes to
like, I think he wants to die.
I feel like I hate.
It feels like he's just like, man, you're not a happy dude.
He's not. He's a very broken man, and really anyone that's around him in his circle and he's writing these songs and things like this really should be like, dude, these aren't successful. These aren't working. This is just a cry for help. Please, let's get you in therapy. Let's not make this album right now. That's really what should have happened. But he doesn't have that kind of support because he was once insane and he sat in his own prison. Well, he hates liberals and Bruce Springsteen because they're the cause of all of his fucking problems. Yep.
Well, because people just hate him. I hate him.
I hate him.
That's all right. You know, I can see why people hate him. I don't like him. But yeah, this was it's just a bleak album, and it's bleak when you get down a little bit below the surface because that's all he really offers. Because he's not a very deep writer. Now we come to Someone. He's talking about damaged goods and knows how to tell a lie, and nobody's believing your lies on this album, buddy, because you're not that good of a grifter.
He's damaged goods. I'm complicated. Well, this is the one thing where he's being honest. Because he is damaged. This whole album is I'm damaged. The album,
but it's like damaged in your 15-year-old kid is damaged. Like, I hate everything.
Well, and if you're 50 years old running around saying you're damaged, it's time to just have a mental health discussion.
Yeah.
Because midlife crisis is behind you. Old age is coming in, man. You need to start being comfortable in your own skin. And you obviously can't do that. And we need to have that discussion. Like, I know what this is. This is Old White Man Suicidal, the album.
Yeah. Maybe she'll notice me after I put this out. She'll see how sad I am. Like, dude, she doesn't care, man. Nobody cares. Get over your shit. I mean, seek help for it. Shit or get off the pot, man. There's a reason why this didn't ring with country fans, and it's because it's so cynical and bleak and stupid, and my God, it's just like wildly misguided.
Very, 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 very.
And now we go to the song that angers me the most because it comes from book of Johnny Cash poems. No, yeah, poem. It's a Johnny Cash poem. And he tries to do something a little different with the production. I think John Carter Cash actually produced this.
The Third Degree?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so this is from a Johnny Cash poem.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But, so musically, it sounds like Bon Jovi's Wanted Dead or Alive.
One of us was going to say it, yeah.
And two, he's using, like, this chain gang, like, spiritual humming type thing, like you heard at the beginning of Old Brother. But, it's just bad. It's just bad. I don't know. This is like he's being hung from a tree reference.
That's exactly where I was about to go, Joe. I was like, really? He's talking about a lynching, Joe.
Yeah.
It's those liberals the liberals are gonna lynch him.
Which is
what the fuck, man.
Yeah, it's oh my God, he's the worst. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
It's bad.
It's so bad. Stupid, mildly misguided. So to end the album, he took a giant shit on Johnny Cash. I guess might as well.
Might as well. It sucks.
It sucks that he did this with a piece of Cash art, because Johnny Cash is one of my favorite artists, and it just pisses me off. Me off, Paul.
Yeah, it pisses me off. So, Joe, would you recommend the album?
No, but no. It's lyrics are more stupid than Porridge Radio. So I mean, come on.
We talked about this. If I was gonna hate this, like as this was gonna be like my bottom, because this really had the. I do not hate this as much as I hate Pat Boone, because I can laugh at this album.
Well, this album's hilarious.
This album's hilarious. So it's like it's so bad. Not that it's so bad it's good, but it's just hilariously bad. So I get some enjoyment.
It was a hilarious experience.
It was a hilarious experience. So
yeah. Yeah, that happened. He did. This album this was a thing. And now algorithm on Amazon Music's all fucked up. Keep suggesting worse, even shittier country music than this for me. This was a bad idea.
Yeah, it was a bad idea. Now, so we're not. Joe, you recommending the album? Oh yeah, no.
Are you, Paul? Are you?
No, I'm not recommending this album. Now, I do want to bring up something that happened. Drunk Aaron Lewis realizes he performed Stains. It's been a while, twice during solo concert, because he was, quote, slightly overserved and, quote, smoked a little too much weed while he's wearing a fuck Joe Biden shirt. So I want to point out that he's got this song where he talks about how he regrets the prison that the Stain songs put him in, but he's more than willing to play those songs in concert live. Motherfucker, you are a liar and disingenuous with what you're trying to fucking tell me on this album. You don't mean any of it. And the fact that you're still willing, I mean, there are artists who go, I won't play that fucking album, or I won't do this song, or I won't do that song anymore. And they stand by their shit. He doesn't.
Paul, the only thing he's guilty of is loving America too much.
Yeah. It's sure, love it too much. And well, you complain about the Confederacy being the lost cause of the Confederacy fake narrative. Yeah, okay. Motherfuck. I mean, again, am I disappointed in this album? Sure. Am I shocked? No. Is it more like, this is why we sit back and go, man, why are the conservative comedians suck? Why do conservative musicians suck? Why did this suck? Because you're not doing it right. You know, I'm sure, like, I'm sorry, Gutfilled is a comedy show. Fuck you. This is a country album. Fuck you.
They don't understand the audience.
They don't understand the audience. So, yeah.
This was just a condescending piece of shit album, riddled with every cliche country music has ever known. It's joyless. It's a slog. He's a miserable son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And he loves America too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the only thing he's guilty of, Paul, is loving America too much.
Motherfucker. All right, Joe. I'm done. I've been giving this guy way too much brain space. What's up with the plugs, Joe? Give me the plugs.
No plugs.
No plugs. All right. You guys are still doing what you're doing there. That makes sense. Okay. Joe, do you want to ask me what we're doing next week?
Well, Paul, it's been a while since I've asked you that, so yes.
I need to get away from whiny bullshit. I need something that we need to get back into. I need some neo soul. I need some fucking contemporary R&B. I need something with some fucking rhythm. We are going to do one of the pioneers of the neo soul movement, Maxwell, and we are going to do his 2001 album entitled Now.
All right. So
that is what we're going to do, because I am tired. I can't listen. I got to get this Stain shit knocked out of my fucking skull really hard.
Oh, you loved it, Paul. You loved all the patriotism and good old boyness of this album. Frayed at both ends, brother.
Yeah. I'm afraid at both ends, Joe. I mean, this was my album. This, you know what? My nights now are going to consist of Cruise Control 2, Speed 2 Cruise Control, and followed by a healthy dose of Frayed at both ends. While I drink Tennessee whiskey and think about how I'll never grow up as a man and be a beta bitch.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's just a whiny little bitch.
Whiny little
This guy sucks.
It's been a while since I've been a whiny bitch. Wait, no, it hasn't.
Oh, man, this guy is just one miserable son of a bitch. All right, yeah. So we'll listen to Maxwell, huh?
Yep. Yep. Do you have any takes on Maxwell?
No.
No way. All right, Joe, do you want to take us out?
No.
This has been Rate That Album with Paul Muad'Dib and Joe Fremming. Thank you for listening.